Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel's Finding Value. Today we're going to go over copper diversified miners. I'm trying to get this information out to you guys because they look like they got pretty good setups. It looks like everything has a pretty good setup at the moment. And if we can get some follow through, we're probably, I think, putting in a bottom here for the energy sectors and maybe some of these other base metals. Precious metals still coming under some pressure. I'd like to see some buying there, but that could also be a little bit delayed behind it. But we'll see. But I want to go over the diversified mining and copper companies to get you guys kind of the most relevant information. So here we go. This is my financial opinion. I've got VALE, which is a diversified mining company. They're paying 8.74% dividend yield at the moment. Very high dividend, and I think right here, right now, looks pretty good, and I'll go over it. We've got a big pull. It's a bull pull, and then we've got this flag pattern that's massive going out here. If we zoom in, and what I'm doing is I'm zooming in on this guy here. And what happened was, I'll back out, I'll talk about this a little bit. We've got an upward resistance line. This is the last kind of spot that it's going to hit its head on. We came up, we hit our head on it, and we pulled on back, and I think we're probably going to take a run at it here. The reason I think so is we've got this downtrend line, and it's squaring it up. It broke the downtrend, it's squaring it up, and we broke through this resistance line just yesterday. What this is it's signaling that we're going into a new uptrend. So if you guys like VALE, this right now would be a low-risk entry point right here at about 13 bucks, because this is what I look for. I look for this bottom. We have a low, a lower low, and then what happens is we started to create a higher low, and then now is a higher high. So that is by definition a new uptrend, and this is, I would say, the lowest risk way to get in. If you guys like VALE, this is the time and spot I would be doing it. Here's COPX. COPX, if you take a big picture view, it's got the double booty bottom. Look at that. Boom, boom. We've got the resistance line coming across. We broke to the upside of it. We've been in this consolidation pattern. We broke to the upside of that, and then we created another consolidation pattern on top of it. This is what it looks like. 1, 2, 3, and then the break. And now it's kind of just back testing here. 1, 2, and we're going to probably get a 3 here and a break. We've got the volume kicking up. I think we're going to move to the upside here. We have everything looks intact. And this is where I like to buy, are in these spots. And if you see this thing break to the upside, it's even a lower risk. It's a confirmation that this pattern's being broken. So this is one that I would definitely be looking at if you guys like a copper ETF. I do own a little bit in here, and I did add a little bit. So here's Rio. Rio is another big diversified mining company. It pays a dividend of 10.67%. I think right here, right now, is like the lowest risk way to be buying this stuff. This is Rio Tinto, big old pattern. We broke it to the upside, and now we're doing a retest. If we zoom in on the pattern, we had a little head and shoulder type action. Here's the leg. We just finished it, and it looks like we're turning up and breaking this downward channel. I'm going to zoom in. I'll show you what that looks like. And here we are. And if you look at the right-hand side over here, let me back out just a little bit. We're setting up and breaking the upper portion of that channel. We've got support right underneath it. Rio, yeah, is a 10.67% dividend. If you guys want a diversified mining company and you want to play the commodities with a more of a lower risk diversified approach with a bunch of different mines and a bunch of different materials, Rio would be one I'd be looking at right now. BHP is also looking very good. We've had these two huge consolidation patterns over time. This is the 70s. We had a massive move in the 80s, consolidated. Massive move from the 2000 to 2006, consolidation. We're breaking this another very large consolidation pattern to the upside, and we're doing a retest. That retest is where I like to buy. There's your retest. It bounced off support twice, and now we're heading back up. BHP pays a 10.44% dividend yield. This is the one. If you want dividends and you want to be inflation protected, these are the ones I'd be looking at. But here we are coming back up. I think this is one that I would be looking at. If it breaks and closes above this 58 mark, basically where it's at, super low risk. I think we're going to keep the momentum going up. You can see the volume kicking up a little bit right in here. I like it. I like it right here. Glencore is another one. 3% dividend yield. Big picture view, massive pattern breaking to the upside. We're doing a little bit of pattern smooching over here on the right-hand side where we're kissing the pattern, kissing the support line. There we are right there. We keep zooming in on it. We're finding support. Copper's looking good. So I would be looking at Glencore for a diversified mining company. They've got a lot of copper. I think they were buying some coal assets as well. So I like Glencore quite a bit. Here's Norilsk Nickel, another copper, platinum group metals, and nickel company. Looking at the big picture, it's got a massive pattern here. 1, 2, 3, and then usually you try to break, it came down back again, and then it broke. We're breaking to the upside. We've got these continuation patterns. Whenever they're slightly downward tilted like this, it's usually a continuation pattern. When we zoom in on the right-hand side, we got this fanning pattern that I put in there. You can see that there's a top, a bottom, and then it bounces off the middle sometimes as well. It's going to turn this into support. It's going to make its way higher. And then I think we're going to see a break to the upside eventually. It pays a 10% dividend yield. These guys, you can diversify across all these diversified mining companies and get really good dividend yields. This guy's got a lot of platinum group metals. Platinum group metals are going to kill it coming forward. If we see a big move in the platinum group metals, this guy's going to capture it. I got some money in it. I'm going to ride it higher. So here's Teck. This is more of a copper company, big picture view. We've got the 1, 2, and then a 3, and then a break. We've broken to the upside a little bit. This thing's probably going to run a good long ways when copper gets its prices up there, and it's going to start moving. Copper price, that is, which Teck will move too. But this one's looking pretty good. I think it's got a 0.6% dividend yield, not nearly as much dividend, but that one's looking good chart-wise. Freeport's looking fantastic. A big old pattern, massive, break to the upside, just like the price of copper, looks very similar. We're consolidating up in this right-hand side here. We broke to the upside of that. I think we could come back maybe a little more, doubt it. I think we're going to move. 0.18% dividend yield. And this would be one that I would also be looking at. Southern Copper. Southern Copper is one I would be looking at right now. Big old massive pattern, broke to the upside, is coming back to retest the breakout. We're making love to the line right now, just riding it and grinding it. And we're right there. And I think this line's going to hold. If copper moves on up, this guy's going to move on up with it. It's got a 5.45% dividend yield. If you guys are seeking dividend and yields, these are the ones that I would be looking at. South 32, another one that's got some, I think they've got, not copper, I think they have zinc, silver, and they've got, I think, coal. Got some coal. Now, could this be a head and shoulders? Maybe, maybe not. I just kind of threw that in there. We've been in this uptrend, and it's been killing it. We've been moving on up here recently. It's got a 1.65% dividend yield, getting some yield in there. And this has got a lot of green candlesticks, so it looks pretty strong to me. Here's Anglo American Platinum. This thing's been kind of chilling out up here on this descending pattern, fan pattern. Usually these fan patterns are continuation patterns to the upside. Big old descending wedge pattern. That broke to the upside. It's got a dividend yield of 5.21%. It does have platinum group metals, copper, and a whole bunch of other things that they mine. But this is one that I would look into as well, as it's had a pretty good pullback. Impala Platinum, another 8.33% dividend yield. We're looking for yields in this clip. If you zoom out, you've got this massive descending wedge pattern that broke to the upside. It's already had a pretty good run. That is true. We've had this pullback here recently, but it looks like we're trying to make our way on higher. PLG, this is more of a speculative play. It is very low. Right now, It's gotten absolutely slaughtered. It came on up. The first thing you do is you pull up, and then you get this leak off of sellers. We're back at a support line. This is the support line coming through here. And I think at any point here, we could see this thing turn around and move on up. So it's not too bad, but it does carry quite a bit more risk. Nova Royalty, we're pulling on down. Is this going to be a slingshot where we slingshot higher? Potentially. It is a copper and nickel royalty company. It's a smaller royalty company. It's just getting started. They're starting to add royalties into it. This is the pattern here, 1, 2, 3, and then you usually see it. Right now, it's pulling on back. I'd like to see it pull on up here, hopefully soon. And then we see another big move on higher when copper takes off. So that's what I've got there. Actually, let me pull up the copper to gold ratio. Copper to gold ratio has just been moving sideways, hasn't been doing much of anything. So copper's been equaling gold in this consolidation period. We could see this break out of this pattern here and move to the upside for a short period of time, which means copper's going to outperform. So that is a possibility. We'll see what happens. Gold's been kind of weak, and I think copper's going to get strong here. So we could see this ratio break out of this pattern here. But that's what I've got for the diversified mining companies. That's what I've got for some other copper companies and whatnot. I would say now looks really good. Low risk entry point, and that's all we can do. We can look at the charts, look for low risk entry points with high probabilities. I think things are turning in the commodity sector, so I would be looking at these companies right now, and add in for myself. If you guys like this content, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and thank you for listening. This is Finding Value.